Scott, we're not open to the public yet, are we?
We have about 15 people in the room, Chief. So yeah, it is open. We're just all on mute right now.
Okay. The pressure is really on now because my mortgage broker is here. So I have to really be well behaved.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
Good afternoon.
Good
Great.
afternoon.
Hello, everyone. Nice to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Good to see you, Michael.
Glad to have you. All of you.
I'm going to mute out.
Hi, Heather. Pleased to meet you.
Mickey Udine, it's good to see the side of your head.
What's up, Josh? How are you, bud?
I'm well, man. Thank you for asking. I listened to your whole meeting last week, so I'm interested to pick your brain on some of the stuff that came up at that meeting. That's a conversation for another day.
I'm sorry that you had to sit through the whole thing, but the stuff that you were watching at the end, if I know what you're talking about, was really, really cool. Really good stuff. But we'll talk later.
Yeah, absolutely. There's some interesting things that I think could be legislatively done as well, but I'll pick your brain on that because that was just something I've been working on the past day. We got a whole other exciting reason to be here this afternoon, so thanks for coming.
Thanks for all your help today.
You're very welcome back. It's our pleasure. go off mute. Good afternoon, everybody. It's 4 o'clock. We're going to get started soon here. We're waiting for a few more people. Just going through the list here and making sure that we have all of our VIPs on here.
That's a beautiful background, Mr. Pollock.
I think we should go to Andrew or Becky's office for this Zoom.
The funny thing, I think Andrew's background is actually a real background.
Oh, it is.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started here. Thank everybody for coming. This is our official public launch of the alert system. Alert stands for Active Law Enforcement Response Technology. An alert was the brainchild of Andrew Pollock, whose daughter was murdered at MSD tragedy that we had. There's just a couple people that we have with us today. We have Heather here. She's the executive director of the School Safety Grant, and Lee Mandel, who is the CEO of Interlogic Solutions. So I'll talk a little bit for how this works. So Coconut Creek, about a year ago, we started investing in a real-time crime center, and with the help of Interlogic Solutions, built it up to now we have 180 cameras throughout the city, mostly in city parks, that we can see what's going on. And we have a full-time staff that watches the cameras and monitors the calls that are going on within the city, and our license plate reader cameras 24 hours a day. And that is how the alert system is going to be monitored during Coconut Creek. Our real-time crime center has already been successful. They recently shut down a fight that was beginning in Windmill Park. And if you can imagine being a guest or going to Windmill Park with your family, and a fight starts there and the police don't immediately arrive, what you would think, it's not a safe place to take your family probably, so you probably wouldn't want to go back there. With the real-time crime center, before this fight even developed, they were on the radio to the officers on the road, and the officers showed up, and before anything had even really started, they were able to shut this down and send everybody on their way before anything turned violent. So what does alert give us? Besides just CCTV, the alert system allows us to map out a building. This can be any type of building, from a school, a bank, a grocery store, restaurant within the city. Where what you're going to see here today is a demo. We built out one of our city buildings for this. So any place where you could have members of the public that would gather, where you could potentially have any type of incident, whether it be, doesn't have to be an active shooter incident, but any type of violent incident. The system gives us electronic mapping. So not only can we see the cameras, but the real-time crime center team can actually see where on the map that camera is, so that we can direct the officers directly to that location. We have remote door access. If the building's equipped with electronic locks, the real-time crime center can actually unlock those doors and allow police officers to enter. As you can imagine, police officers, first of all, we don't have keys to every building, and even within the city, we may have a key that we could swipe to unlock a city door, but the officers many times aren't carrying that key on their person. And so with this, the real-time crime center, when the officer shows up at the door, they can actually hit a button, unlock the door, and allow them in. If you can imagine that in in a school or another type of setting where we've got, an active situation, an active shooter or something like that, instead of having to go in through the front door, which we may have people filing out of, they can direct the officers directly to where the subject is, allow them access to a door and get in there. The system gives us real-time video access. So this isn't Coconut Creek Police Department monitoring this 24 hours a day. It doesn't take that type of staff. And the way this system is designed, when there's an incident and somebody calls 911 or they hit a panic button on their phone, that's when we start monitoring. It automatically notifies the real-time crime center, opens up, and we can instantly see what's going on. So we can see, is there a shooting, is there a fire, or is there an explosion, something of that nature, or just a fight that's going on. And we can direct officers directly to where the problem is. One of the unique features is access to the public address system. If the building's equipped with a public address system, with the alert system, we can actually speak either directly to victims and tell them help is on the way, or give them directions to hide, or to where to go to evacuate. Or in the case of an active shooter or some type of other thing like that, we can actually speak directly to the assailant. As you know, many times when if it is an active shooter that's on scene, as soon as the police arrive, they give up or they run away. So being able to speak with them and let them know the police are on scene, we may be able to end this even quicker. And the last but not least thing is fire alarm silencing. Because we can see live what's going on, we can tell, is there a fire or not? We can silence the alarm. It doesn't silence it as far as fire department response, but it just turns off that bell or that siren so that the first responders can work. Or if it is somebody that's trying to cause people to come out into the open, we can immediately stop that bell so that they don't respond in that manner. This is, like I said, this is the e-mapping that it gives us. This is a map of our community center. And we'll go ahead into the demo and we'll show you how this works.
It always starts out just like any other day.
So you're going to go to the gym after work today?
Yeah, I think we could. Maybe we can get that run in later tonight.
Then that ordinary day turns anything but ordinary.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
This employee clearly hears the shots and sees there's trouble. Unable to run away, he locks the door and calls 911.
911, what is your emergency?
There's an active shooter at the community center. Please help. There are 2 people that are shot. I don't know where he is. I'm hiding back in the office. Please help me. Please help.
Coconut Creek to all units. We have a report of an active shooter at the community center.
The first officer arrives on scene within minutes. All he really knows is there are 2 people down and he has no idea where the shooter might be.
Help! Help! He shot me!
His sole job at this time is to eliminate the threat.
Shot me!
A second officer is now at the scene, but they still have no location on the threat, meaning that they cannot get valuable life-saving help to the victim
Hey, where's he at?
until they figure out where the shooter is.
I don't know where he's at. What's he wearing? Blue shirt, I think gray pants. I don't know where he went.
Since the officers don't hear any gunshots, they decide to hold the location until additional officers arrive so they can do a very thorough search of the building. This takes time, and the officers understand that that's time that this victim might not have. But they have no other choice since they still don't know the location of the shooter. With the scene not secure, the wounded victim is not getting the help he needs. This scenario would be very different for the victim using our alert system. Now let's watch how. In this scenario, after the employee witnesses the shooting, he has the alert system app on his phone, and using it, he can immediately signal first responders.
X-ray 30, we have an active shooter alert. Active shooter alert at the community center. I'm looking at the cameras. We see a male with a blue shirt, gray pants in the lobby with a gun and 2 people down.
Since responding officers hear no gunshots, the alert system and the real-time crime center guides them to where they need to be.
X-ray 30, be advised the shooter is running out the back door. Again, we have a male in a blue shirt, gray pants. He's headed towards the playground bathroom.
With this valuable insight that could have only come from the alert system, the first responding officer goes into the building, tells the wounded victim that the good guys are here.
X-ray 30 update, suspect has entered the playground bathroom.
Now, with this knowledge, the first officer and the second on scene can now tactically pin down the shooter in that bathroom.
30 Yankee 5, I got him pinned down in the outdoor bathroom, 2 down in the lobby. Start rescue to the lobby.
And then the third officer arrives on scene, and remember in our first scenario, all he could do was help hold. Now he can run straight to the victim and get him the valuable help he needs. All thanks to the alert system.
We're going to get help on the way, all right? Keep pressure on this. All right.
With the alert system, announcements can be made to provide instructions to victims or speak directly to the suspect using the building's PA system.
We'll go back to a full Zoom. I'm going to stop sharing the screen here so that we can go to a normal Zoom meeting. So the idea of the alert system is to save the time that it takes for the police to actually get help to the victim. Many people don't know this, but if there is an active situation going on, it doesn't mean that the fire department is going to come running in the door to start giving life-saving treatment to people. They're not going in until after the police secure the location. We have with us today Andrew Pollock, who, like I said, his father was murdered at MSD. He can speak a little bit to that work, how that works, and the time it took at MSD before we knew that the shooter had left and that everybody could go in and start doing rescues there. So I'm gonna ask Andrew to unmute and come on and speak with us a little bit.
Hey, Scott, can everybody hear me? Are we good? Great.
Gotcha.
All right, first off, I'd really like to thank the Coconut Creek Police Department, Butch Arenow, for having the confidence in our software and partnering with us. We formed a really good partnership with the Coconut Creek PD, and that meant a lot to me to be able to help them, because Coconut Creek, everybody knows, they responded that day. Their Officer Leonard, who I'm personal friends with, apprehended the shooter. It was late, but he was there and he did it. And I'm really grateful for the Coconut Creek PD to partnering with us. So thank you guys so much, and for putting this event on today. So in a nutshell, everybody knows what happened that day. My daughter Meadow, I'll never see her again, maybe one day. And the last couple of days with National Daughters Day really hit home for me. My life hasn't been the same since that day, but I wanted to make a difference in this world. And that's what led from my partnership with Intralogic and the alert system technology to better equip law enforcement throughout the country. And it means so much to me. Partnering with law enforcement to be able to give them the tools to respond, where it not only shaves seconds off response time, but minutes. We've run tests with our software, and it'll shave minutes off response. To me, this software is like the future of the 911 call centers. 911 with a phone is the dinosaur age. What we give, the tools that we give to law enforcement, puts them into the future. And why it means so much to me is I developed relationships with a lot of first responders that day. And a lot of people don't really hear from them, the guys behind the scenes that showed up that day at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas. And I constantly keep in touch with them. And they were affected tremendously by that day, not being able to respond. Not being able to respond efficiently, I meant, not knowing where the shooter was, what floor the shooter was on, how many how many shooters there were, what weapon did he have? And a lot of these guys, there's guys that retired out of Coral Springs PD that I meet and they cried to me not being able to respond. So for me, getting involved with this company meant everything. You know, all the parents and families, they've been affected, but I wanted Andy Pollock to make a difference and help law enforcement. And that's what we did here with this technology. We're going to give law enforcement these tools so they don't have to, they take the guesswork out of the time from when the call gets to the PD en route. They know exactly what's going on. There's no guesswork to when they get to the building, to the church, to the temple, to the school. They'll know en route exactly where to go, and it's going to save lives. And that's what this is about for me, that I got involved with, and being able to give it to law enforcement just means the world to me. And I'm glad everyone that came on and looked at this, we want to work with you. We're here to help. And it's only going to get better. And the thing is now, everyone, you need to be proactive. You know, taking a step back and waiting, it isn't the right way to go. You got to be proactive, like a Coral Springs PD, like a Coconut Creek PD. We're working with some other law enforcement agencies, but this preventive measure is going to save lives. So I want to thank everybody. This means the world to me. I partnering with Coconut Creek PD, having the confidence in us to give them this software is just amazing. So thanks everyone, my friends. I know I got friends on here. I think my son's watching. Hey, Hunter. So everybody, thanks so much for joining. We're here to help. We're easy to get a hold of. Any questions, if you don't ask today, you can reach out to us. You got the leading guy right there, right in the middle of the screen, Lee Mandel. Without Lee and Heather and Scott, Lieutenant, right there, we couldn't have made this happen. And I'm so proud to be a part of this team. So thank you guys. And we're here to help anybody that needs it.
Thank you, Andy. And Andy's absolutely right. This is going to save lives. Anytime there's a situation that is, you know, for lack of a better term, that's hot, it slows us down, because now we have to make sure that rescue can safely come in and provide life-saving treatment to somebody. Until then, you're just going to wait. Like Andy said, we've got Lee Mandrell and Heather here to answer any questions that you may have about the system and exactly how it works. They are the experts in the system. And Becky has her hand up. So yes, ma'am.
Scott, this does not go to dispatch. It goes to X-ray.
This goes to X-ray. Yes, ma'am. Our real-time crime centers who monitors this.
Cool. So say there's been incidents in the dog park and stuff besides playing basketball and whatever at Windmill Park. So if something happens, the cameras will pick it up and it'll send a sound to X-ray?
Not in Windmill Park. No, we actually outfitted the community center with this system. The real-time crime center does watch the cameras in Windmill Park and our other areas, but like I said, we have 180 cameras. That's a few too many for two people to just watch 24 hours a day. What this system is designed for is more of a place, and we could outfit places like Windmill Park with it. Any place where, like a community center, where we can have a large group of people, that we have an app. This comes with the Safer Watch app, but the police department's in the middle of, I'm sure you already know, the App Armor that we're looking to buy. App Armor is compatible with this because the system, you know, it's not proprietary, works with anything. So once App Armor comes out, it'll be branded as a Coconut Creek resident app. And a person that is somewhere, if they're in our community center, they could hit that app. And if we've got the alert system built into the location where they're at, it's instantly going to pop up and show them the real-time crime center with what is going on in that location.
So will it be in the schools down the road too?
Could, if Broward County School Board would allow it in there. The big thing about this is, and I'm sure Lee can speak to this a little bit more, is the schools, you know, the school board had a problem with us monitoring the schools, somebody watching what's going on in the schools. With this system, we're not monitoring this. As you saw in the video, it sits in the background, and when somebody hits a panic button, or calls 911, it alerts them. They simply hit the alert, then it opens up and they can actually select the cameras and see the cameras. Not only can they select the cameras, but once the camera is selected, you know, if you imagine somewhere like Coconut Creek High School, there's you know, probably 20, 30 hallways. The real-time crime center, they can right click on that camera, that video that they're seeing where it's going on, and say, locate this on the map, and it'll show them exactly where on the map that camera is located. So now they can direct officers directly to that location. It's no longer a guessing game of what it looks like.
Well, in these days and times, I'm glad that we're going to do this. It's really neat. I love it.
Got one. This is Butch Arnell, Chief of Coconut Creek. I wanted to add one thing. First of all, school safety grant, they granted us $30,000 for the real-time crime center. So those cameras that you saw in there at the beginning and the software was all achieved through a grant. They also assisted us in setting up the community center. The plan is to put the alert system in all city buildings. Okay, so we've taken the step to do that. The purpose of today, and certainly we would love to be in every school. We know we have junior achievement targeted. I know Leanie's on here to implement there. And any of our private schools, if the public schools don't choose to take part. But the purpose today is to announce to our whole community, is to invite in our businesses, our churches, our banks. Consider the benefit. If you're a bank, you can hit an alert and that we could real-time camera in on your lobby and see a bank robbery taking place, which means that the officers can respond and intervene in a way that doesn't create a hostage situation or because we can see what's going on inside. Likewise, Kelly is here from our local hotels. It doesn't have to be an active shooter. This could simply be a subject, let's say that just he's got a mental problem and he's tearing things up. We get a call from our local Marriott, our local hotel, boom, they hit the active alert. We can go right into the lobby, see what's happening, and guide our officers in safely. So we're inviting all of our faith institutions, our local grocery stores, Publix. We're inviting all of our private sector partners for very inexpensive connection cost to get into this program. And you can imagine what kind of a force multiplier it'll be for our police officers. It's efficient and it's smart.
Yeah, Andy, real quick, I want to say this. Thank you for doing this. You know, just as me as an elected official in the city, we have tried to be, since that tragedy, as proactive as we can in this city to do everything from the dog we've tried to employ in schools against resistance to embracing this program. And I say this on behalf of me, and I could probably speak for my colleagues. I don't know if I can, they're all on this call, I'm happy to be an advocate for this program as well, because it works. And you know, our chief has always put safety first over politics and over all of that. So I'm happy to advocate for you. And Butch, I want to thank you on behalf of obviously all that you do, and I look forward to the future. So thank you, Andy, and thanks for the conversation the other day.
Great, Josh.
One thing I'd like.
Hi, guys. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. It's Jackie.
Oh, I'd just like to
Commissioner.
add that what's pretty amazing about the software is, and I know Lieutenant Slavin touched on it. You can't ask a dispatcher to know every camera in a building. You know, we're working with, for instance, we're working with Broward Health now. We're in the process of working with the hospital in Coral Springs. And you can't ask a dispatcher to know where every camera is in the building. So with our software, it's going to have, if you could imagine, there's two monitors. So the dispatcher will see, like Scott said, the one camera, and it's interfaced with another monitor that'll pinpoint that position exactly in the hospital or community center. So you could imagine when the dispatcher's talking to the police that are going to respond, they could tell them exactly what hallway, what staircase to go up, what building, what door to enter. And it's going to save minutes, which saves lives, which that's what it's all about. And it's just an amazing software. And another thing I'll touch on that people don't understand is a lot of times in buildings when there's shots being fired, there's echoes. It's very hard to distinguish which hallway it's coming down, where it could be. You know, if the first responders go down a wrong hallway, it could be minutes for them to reach the right area. And a lot of people also don't know with active shooting, like what took place at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas. When there is a shooting in a building, there's residue that comes out of a gun that sets off the fire alarms. So in my daughter's case, that's what happened at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas. The residue set the fire alarm off, where my daughter's teacher happened to put Meadow out into the hallway where she was shot 9 times because of the fire alarms. So now the dispatcher will have the ability to look in the building, see there's no fire, which is amazing, silence the fire alarms, and then she has the ability to talk over the PA to the shooter she could talk to people in the building to take cover, which exit to go out. All this is just pretty amazing stuff, and I'm glad everyone's having the opportunity to see it today.
Thank you. Andy and Butch, Jackie Raley, Commissioner Coconut Creek. How are you? Thank you for this. This is wonderful, Andy. Can we actually use this in private communities? Communities that have cameras in certain areas, that have gatherings of 1,000 people at a time, that have concerns. With COVID and with everything else that's going on, people are very edgy. Things can happen. So can they utilize that? Since there are cameras already in place, can they utilize this software and connect to?
Sure, that's a great question, Jackie. So what makes our software unique is we could interface with any camera system. So the system you have in place, we could connect that to the Coconut Creek PD, which is great. Like, you might have Motorola cameras, another building might have a Vigilant cameras. We don't need to sell any software. What we're doing is interfacing. So, and it makes it simpler. What we wanted to do was make it simpler for law enforcement to have one system in place to connect to any camera system in the community. So they only have one, they don't need to change their systems to match different cameras. So that would be great. We'd love to be in communities, any type of community, amphitheaters, anything where there's cameras, we could connect.
Wonderful. Thank you, Andy.
Jackie.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Jackie, since the technology came to Coconut Creek and the grant was available to Coconut Creek, any constituent in Coconut Creek can take advantage of that technology. So now that we have it in place, they can all go on the website, sign up, receive the grant to cover their upfront costs of integrating those cameras, getting the floor plans. The concept is to allow the first responders to see a standardized floor plan, no matter if they're responding to the Marriott Hotel, the community center, or a public or private school. The same interface. It's designed by law enforcement for law enforcement. And I think that's what makes it unique. So when we're doing training at a Publix, for instance, on a regular basis, and an event does happen at a private school, we're using the same software that we trained on. So it's a common interface, same symbols, same buttons. So it makes it a really great training exercise as well.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you.
I have a couple other hands up here, so let's go with Michael Udine. Sorry, I hit your mute there. There you go. Sorry about that.
Thank you so much. Good to see you, Andy.
Same.
I have a couple questions because I'm very much in favor of this. And I've seen some, some of the, I think that it's the most important thing we could do, kind of like what Andy said. We're dinosaurs if we're just using telephones now, because we have the video capability in one way or another. So I actually brought something similar up like this, just with the concept. There are cameras all over the place. There are cameras in the public right away. A lot of buildings have cameras. I don't know if Chief Butch saw the county commission when we spoke about this a couple weeks ago, or if anybody from your office did, but some of the municipalities and some of the jurisdictions came to us because they want to use our cameras in our right of way that we have out there. And the more cameras and the more info that you can put into these systems, the better. I mean, it's kind of like similar to what Sheriff Tony's talking about with his Real Crime Center, where he's, any business that wants to come on in, because we can find a lot of this stuff. But here, and I was in favor of just letting us use our right of way, but this was the pushback that I received from some of my fellow commissioners and from some of the professional staff. The first thing was public records issues. What happens with this video as far as public records requests that they were afraid was going to come from, every attorney all over the place if there was a car accident out somewhere in front of, where one of these cameras was. How is Coconut Creek handling that issue?
So this system's a little bit different. This is real time only. We're not actually recording this video.
So perfect. So you don't keep any of the tape. The tape just goes, there's no records made. So that
live video. Unlike a traditional
Michael.
system.
Yeah,
Right.
Michael, remember in Marjorie Stoneman Douglas, they rewound it and they thought they were in real time for like 30 minutes.
100%. They were 20 minutes behind at MSD.
So we made it so they don't have the ability to go back and have that human failure again. So there's no recording going on.
Perfect. The second
And
thing,
it's only monitored in a 911 situation. So that also cuts down on I forget the word with the monitoring. They have to have that data, or I'm using the wrong word when we're linked up. It's using a Wi-Fi, and so it's only using that Wi-Fi or the data. I'm not using the right word when there's a 911 emergency.
perfect. Second thing that came up, which I'm just throwing out there that I heard that may be of help to you guys. So they said that they didn't want these type of systems to be used for the actual enforcement of something. So I don't know. I don't think it would matter with these because, like you said, you're not keeping any of these things. But they were very concerned about cameras catching the right of way and giving people red light tickets.
And Michael,
in this case, go ahead.
Michael, no, I just want to tell you, at a statewide level, the issue that law enforcement is grappling with are particularly with license plate readers and with the ability to go onto the right of way or on DOT right of way, which has been prohibited. And there's a push to allow governmental entities and municipalities, some have gone ahead and done it, quite frankly, but to install those on government right of way, although you don't have to be on government right of way for them to work. So kind of two separate issues.
Okay.
Our cameras that are monitoring our parks and stuff, we actually post those areas, and that, that's a public area for safety. But the great thing, like you take American Top Team, one of their concerns was, well, we have some international stars training in here, and we don't want people snooping in our lobby and watching over a camera. So we had to reassure them that you hit an emergency activation because someone comes into the lobby. That's when we connect in and we can guide our person in. Same with the bank robbery, same with, any one of these locations. So it's purely tactical.
Right.
In nature. It's not for enforcement, red light, ticketing. It is not Big Brother. No one is more conscious about civil liberties than me. I mean, I'm very skeptical on that front, to be honest with you. So this is more of a tactical tool.
Right. So I agree with that. But so the county then did, if you want to use county right away, county poles to install some of these cameras, I think that they're agreeing to do that now. You would just have to work out an interlocal agreement with the county because they, Coral Springs came to us and they want to put some of these on. And the county was originally saying, well, build your own poles in the right of way, which is kind of ridiculous to have two poles when they can just be added right on there. Those are really my questions. That's what came up when I brought it up, and you can watch the tape when we had it in the commission, but I'd like to be involved how I can, because I think that we're using a lot of outdated stuff when we're talking about crime prevention. I think that this is just an easy thing to do as far as adding it to the repertoire of BSO or the local police departments. I know Sheriff Tony does have a real crime lab. I don't know how that interfaces with this, but they put an all call out to businesses to get on that. And I heard a lot of businesses wanted to be on there and just put their cameras into the system, but I don't have those details. Thank you. Thank you, Andy.
Commissioner Welch.
Sorry, thank you very much. First of all, for bringing this to us. And second of all, I just wanted to ask the chief, has this been presented to the faith leaders here in the city and also the owner that's going to be building the event center here in the city?
Has this been presented, who did you say first, Sandy?
The faith leaders.
Not as of yet. We did a internal demonstration for all of our department heads in the city manager's office. Today was our opening for all of our community faith-based, and we did email them, by the way.
Okay.
They were all notified. I don't see any on here, but
I didn't either.
Sandy, you know as well as I do, we can take this directly to them. So.
Okay. No, this opens so many doors of security and safety. Andy, thank you. Thank you for what you've done and thank you for sharing it so much.
Thank you.
And Monica from Junior Achievement, I see you have your hand up.
Hi there. Monica McNerney from Junior Achievement of South Florida. I'm here with my colleague, Lainey Smith, who's also on the call today. And I just wanted to reiterate what other folks have said in terms of our gratitude. A lot of people aren't aware of the number of students that we have in our building every day. And so we kind of stretch between, we're not quite a school, but we could easily have 500 students here on a daily basis. And so in that case, we have very much the similar challenges of security that schools have, but unfortunately we have less resources. You know, schools have different types of security on campus, and we rely on the wonderful Coconut Creek Police as well as Broward College Security to assist us with our security. So from the nonprofit perspective, coming from a business who does have limited resources for this type of upgrade, we were very grateful for the grant that allowed us to install the cameras. And I think that's something that makes this accessible, excuse me, to some businesses that otherwise this is not something that we might have had in our pipeline for a capital improvement, right? Because we have other things that we need to fix as well. So I just wanted to say thank you for the grant opportunity to be able to get this off the ground and all the work that everyone has done to make this possible. We're certainly open to if any other demonstrations need to take place or training exercises, or if you need to be able to showcase it to other types of businesses, especially those that don't quite fit the mold, right? I mean, I have 30 administrative folks sitting in an office right now. And so in that case, we're much like a corporate office, but I also I'm gonna have 450 students on site. So we're happy to help however we can. We're a proud member of the Coconut Creek community. So however we be of assistance, whether it's with elected officials, being able to showcase, we are happy to be on the map here, and we'll be happy to help as a guinea pig for one of the newer businesses, however we can. So I just wanted to throw that out there so that everybody knows, in case anybody needs a tour of the system, anything that we can do to be helpful to make the community even safer for our members, we're happy to do that. Thank you so much.
Monica, I just wanted to
Oh,
take a
you're
minute.
so
Thank you.
welcome.
I just want to take a minute and thank you from the school safety grant. All of our team, we're really proud to have you at Junior Achievement as one of our recipients. We're thrilled that we are starting integration with you, and we're going to be visiting your school tomorrow, actually. And so thank you so much for partnering with us, and we're really looking forward to creating a really strong and unique bond so that we can do this with others as well. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Lainey, I see you have your hand up also.
Yes, I'll skip the thank yous, but thank you everybody, because there's too many people for me to thank here for where we at today. We're so looking forward to this. I'm wondering if you could, the app, I really wasn't that familiar with the app you were talking about, and I'm just interested in maybe, this isn't a question for now, and I certainly understand that. How interactive is it? Like, have you given that app to all of your employees at the recreation center? Does everybody have the app, and how interactive is that app?
So Lainey, one of the nice things is from the police department and city side of this is that The system is not tied to any specific app or camera system or company. The city has chosen to go with App Armor to be our provider for our app. One of the nice things about App Armor is when you get it, when you download, it doesn't say it doesn't say App Armor on it anywhere. It says the City of Coconut Creek or Coconut Creek Police Department on that app. We will brand that app so that when you actually go to the Android store, the Apple store and download it, you're downloading the Coconut Creek app is what it looks like. Because of how the alert system works, that app will be tied directly into it. There is another one called Safer Watch that's already tied into it. That's what we ran the demo on here. But because of how the system works, we'll be able to tie it into our city's app. So that'll be as simple training wise for your administrators there at JA to say, you know what, we're located in Coconut Creek. Go to your respective store, whether Google or Apple, and download the Coconut Creek City app, and that's where you'll find the panic button.
And Leanie, what's nice about that too is that it then becomes your so you take whatever your protocol is and you distribute that to who you wish to. So each facility and each partnership of ours can really be unique to who they are in terms of nothing has to be followed, like the neighbors, but it can be how it works exactly for junior achievement. And we'll work with you to do what's best for the way in which you want to use it, and we can talk to you more in depth too about that, so we can help with that.
Well, I'm really excited and thank you again. And adding to what Monica said, not only might we have 450 to 500 students in there today, we could have another 100 volunteers and another 150 people in our conference room. So thank you very much, everybody. We're so looking forward to it. And give me a call if you want to come see the system after we get it up and running.
Thank you very much.
And Leanie, this is Butch. Just a quick note. Now that we're through our accreditation process, there's two major initiatives. We just got our app done and through IT governance. So pretty soon you'll be seeing a Coconut Creek Police Department app that's widely publicized, and you'll be able to do everything from that app, from sending a crime tip anonymously to activating the alert system to asking questions, you name it. And then the second part of our technology infrastructure is getting alert not only to our business community, but getting our government buildings done. I'm going to be so glad when the city commission chambers has the alert system installed, when we have it at the main lobby at City Hall, when we have these main areas. And from there on out, we continue to spread. So all I can say is I hope that they've got, I hope the alert folks have all the resources they can get at their disposal, because we're going to start keeping them real busy. Lee, I hope you got some employees.
We're ready, Butch. Don't worry.
That's right. Thank you, Chief.
Well, thank you again. And just so everybody knows who doesn't know us, if anybody hasn't been to our facility, we currently have 34, 36 cameras up and running in there. So we will be a very safe place.
And thank you both, Leanie and Monica. And we do plan on coming and doing some special training at your facility. That's for sure. You guys have a unique place for us to do training at. I don't see any more hands up on the screen, but there are 30 people in the room. So if there's anybody else that would have any questions, we have experts here with Lee and Heather. So does anybody else have any questions for us on how this works? Or
Hey, Scott, I would like to say one more thing, and then I'm going to shut up and let anybody ask any questions. And that is, I want to give my personal thank you. As I've said in our city internal demo, nothing good came out of Stoneman Douglas. So you'll never hear me sit here and argue that, well, here's something good. I mean, it was bad, okay? But on a personal level, I met Andy Pollock, and that relationship with Andy, and if you know Andy, if you have a relationship with him, you know he's a straight talker. That's what I love about him. That led me to Lee and Logic, and this solution. So as I said, I wish it would have never happened, and maybe would have met Andy in a different way, but we are going to make a tremendous impact on the law enforcement community and on safety in this state. This afternoon, as soon as the Stoneman Douglas Commission breaks, Sheriff Judd, Sheriff Galtieri, and Commissioner Swearigan from FDLE are coming over here for a private demo, okay? And believe me, they're going to take the word statewide, statewide on this system, but we are going to make this happen. So I just wanted to thank Andy very much for his friendship, and but also for doing something really good for people like me that have a 16-year-old in our school system. And I want you to know how much I appreciate it. Thank you, Andy. You too, Lee.
Thanks, Chief. I feel the same.
I'd like to say, Andy, thank you. And I can't see why any city, any municipality wouldn't institute this system. It's awesome, it's amazing, and I think it could save a lot of lives. Thank you. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
I want to thank everyone again for coming. This is Lee speaking, and we really appreciate the opportunity. Coconut Creek has taken a very positive initiative with being one of our first departments online, and we're really excited to work with the entire community and help them get these grants. Heather's personally going to be assigned to working with Mike and the rest of the school safety grant team to make sure anyone who wants this technology can get it, implement it, and we're just really happy for the partnership. And we look forward to hopefully saving lives and making sure that this system is effectively used throughout the entire Coconut Creek community. So just want to personally thank everyone. Heather, I don't know if you want to talk further about next steps real quick.
Sure. Yeah. So again, I want to thank Chief, all the commissioners, city manager, lieutenant, for having us all here today. As you can tell, we're very passionate about the work that we do when it comes to safety. And so we're so thankful to have your attention for the past hour. I'm available at heather@schoolsafetygrant.com. You can reach out to me. We'll be reaching out to you as well through the lieutenant and the chief and some different, we actually would love to have, personal Zoom calls if we with faith-based communities or anyone else that wants to do something a little bit more in depth. And so we're available. So reach out to us. We'll do the same to you. And we're really thrilled to be part of your community and providing safety to not only the children in the schools, but to everyone that has a mass gathering venue. So thank you so much.
Thank you. If there's no other questions, I want to thank everybody for coming today. We really appreciate it. And we hope to speak with you again soon about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Scott.